This is a song that my mother taught me. The boogeyman, the boogeyman, the boogeyman, boo. He's an awful man, a terrible man, a wicked man too. He often chases children and catches them like mice. His teeth, they are awful, and his breath, it is not nice.
So we're on our way in a snowstorm to go try to find someone that's lost in the woods. Y'all say a prayer.
Once, before time, the sun, the moon, created cosmic spiritual animals. Each cosmic spiritual animal is from and is part of the sun and moon's creation. The great elk, the great ram, the great bull, the great dog are the creation of the sun. The great rabbit, the great bird, the great goose, the great fish, and the great serpent are of the moon's creation. The true light of the spiritual cosmic animals of the sun and moon is a purplish pinkish hue. The great sun is a half shape of man, as the great moon is a half shape of womb man. Neither have calves or feet. Each of the spiritual cosmic animals have their own migration circle and place. In each migrational circle, many of the same spiritual cosmic animals are abundant. A creature appeared from the depths of the darkness. This creature arrived communicating that it was there only to aid or to help in any way allowed. This creature helped in many ways, but was always going from place to place when in the light of life. It would always return back to the darkness. The air of the spiritual world is fresh and clean as the waters are, and these creatures cannot breathe fresh air. It can only surface from time to time, which does not allow it to live as the cosmic spiritual animals. These predators would get as close as possible to the cosmic spiritual animals and touch them if it could. The great rabbit was resting. The creature would watch the cosmic spiritual animals breathe, which is nourishment in the spiritual world. A creature began to move in the direction of the great rabbit. That creature sunk its fangs into the great rabbit. In an instant, red plasma filled the creature. Pure energy of the cosmic spiritual rabbit began to fill the creature with energy as well. The creature became ecstatic. It began a feeding frenzy in the great rabbit's spiritual world. The great rabbit began to run to inform all the cosmic spiritual animals. Migrational circle to migrational circle, the great rabbit warned all, spreading the message faster and faster. The message of the deceiver was shared to all. The creature began following the great rabbit, world to world. One by one, each spiritual world came under attack. The great ram, the great elk, the great dog. Each cosmic spiritual animal engaged in the life and death struggle. The great elks charged, lowering their heads, embedding their horns into creature after creature. The great elks bitten one after another. A bite of fire, a bite that causes paralyzation, a bite that causes plasma to stream from the eyes, the ears, the nose, and mouth. World after world, battles are being fought. The creature, the deceiver, is skilled at capture. Each spiritual, cosmic animal are being fed upon. The creatures are ingesting the precious spiritual plasma and energy. The sun and moon are also attacked from larger creatures that hid in waiting. The sun is attacked from behind and is bit on the neck. As paralyzation began, the sun gathered the spark of life he carried and sent the spark of life to Mother Moon. Mother Moon accepted the spark of life. The creatures pull to bend the sun backwards, using a sticky film to keep the sun in place. The energy line from the sun to the moon is still apparent. The predators follow the path of light to the moon. Sky Woman places the spark of life from the sun into herself for safety. She then too is attacked. Through the portal, the spark of life traveled, guided by the sun and moon. The joining of the sun and moon energies create the first creation of a spiritual cosmic being, a spiritual man, child, baby being called Earth. Earth is a cosmic spiritual being of the spiritual energy from the sun and moon. The powers to stand with strength, with balance in the physical and spiritual world. During the joining of man and woman energy, each spiritual cosmic animal also combined with the energy of the sun and moon. This all happened to creation at one time. The path of light flowed into Sky Woman. Creation. The portal door closes. The creatures follow the path of light to the moon and attack. Attacking in the same manner, the moon also begins to become paralyzed. Mother Moon, her motions begin to slow. Mother Moon places her hand over her midsection to protect the spark of life, the creation of Earth. As the creatures look for a way to enter the portal to Earth, the great serpent arrives and engages in the battle of death, fighting for the moon, twisting and twisting. The great serpent is bit again and again. As the great serpent begins to slow, Mother Moon is pulled backward and upside down. Now, partial of Earth's view is facing the darkness of the abyss. The cosmic spiritual being known as Earth sprang life and memory. Earth. Earth is a living, spiritual, cosmic baby being. The attack was throughout each world. The deceivers were subduing and feeding upon each world. The great rabbit, being pursued, followed the path of light also to the moon. The great rabbit found the portal of the moon and entered. Down, the great rabbit entered Earth through the portal hole. Protected by Mother Moon, Earth continues to develop. The world of Earth is in the creation time. Man is advanced with knowledge of the spiritual world, the power of all inside, stored safely. Man has become a living, spiritual, powerful, physical being. As eons pass, civilizations form in an instant. The cosmic, spiritual place of Earth is only for man. Man watches as each spiritual, cosmic animal arrives. The cosmic baby being Earth, the home and caregiver of all, the cosmic spiritual animals. Earth's spirituality created man, the physical man, in a spiritual world, a dream, a thought of Earth's spirituality, spiritual beings in a dream world. From the body of Earth, man is a powerful being with many gifts of power. At this time, the great serpent arrives. Curling up around the deceiver, the great serpent is bit over and over as the struggle of life is fought for. Each bite is like fire. Flashes of light and the sounds of pain are heard above. The great serpent rolls and rolls, protecting the moon. The great rabbit who is inside the moon finds the cosmic baby being Earth and enters into one of the portals to Earth. Earth is shaken violently. The world begins to move. The worlds above begin to change. Now, watching the great serpent's battle of life come to a stop, the great serpent slowly is turned over and placed upside down. The earth is shaken violently again and again. The great serpent sacrifices for Earth, moves one more time, and falls downward upon Earth's face to help protect Earth. By falling between Mother Moon's hands, the great serpent lays across Earth's eye. A sharp, pointed appendage sliding over the body of the great serpent. Another sharp appendage is seen sliding over. This is the first time we, as man, had ever seen such a creature. Its face is a gruesome, horrific sight. The deceiver's sharp appendage struck and pierced the sky above. The left eye of Earth is pierced. The world shakes. Salty, dark, murky water flows into the piercing. The waters fall from above, downward. Fresh air is flowing out through the piercing as well. Eons of life are flooded as the waters fall violently. The coldness of the dark waters begins to drop white, solid, crystallized stones. The earth shakes. The waters engulf the land in an instant, rising to the highest mountain. Earth pushes land upwards, above the waters, for the people. The Choctaw people gathered at the top of the mountains, watching as the salty, dark, murky waters fill the land to the highest tops. Everything, everywhere, death arrived. 3 comets came crashing from above as well. The earth shook. Darkness covered half of Earth's face. The salty, dark, murky waters fill the Earth's left eye. 3 comets, 3 pillars, or 3 giants with many arms begin to devour all the living and the dead. As people who lived in the mountain regions witnessed every animal of earth run into the cities, as birds fly past the people and cities in flocks. A mist falls from above. People begin to become trapped in the falling mist. Giants, creatures are seen in the distant horizon. People run. People run to the highest mountain as the raging waters approach. The creatures pursued the animals and people to the highest tops, devouring. All are eating. The DNA of the great serpent is mixed with the DNA of all animals eaten. The cosmic predator ingested man as well and began to lay eggs. By eating and mixing DNA and laying eggs, formed predators with the DNA of serpent, ram, man, and are mixed and are all that remained. When the great waters receded, birds flew back. Where the land was visible, the creatures waited for the birds. The same is done with the fish. With the waters receding, the predator makes its way across the land. The great bull. More man DNA is ingested by consumption. The great goose, the great dog. Many predator forms are now abundant everywhere. Everything is now being mixed with the cosmic spider predator DNA. In the mixture, man's DNA is eaten. The predator slowly takes the form of a crawling man-like being that through time, with the ingestion of more people, become more man-like. People where the sun rises watch the catastrophe and the formation of the first man-like predator with a bite like fire and is a cannibal. Man now has darkness and night.
Good morning. My name is Ella. I'm here today with the Bigfoot expert, Jerry Williams. Mr. Williams has offered to share ancient knowledge of the origin of Bigfoot to the Bigfoot of today. Mr. Williams, you are a Choctaw veteran, a world traveler, a gatherer of knowledge, an educator, a historian, and an author of 5 books. You have a tracking school. You are the lead trainer, and you are the lead tracker for missing or lost Choctaw people. You are the Choctaw tribe's medicine man, a healer, and a ceremony leader. You've deciphered the world's most important hieroglyphs and manuscripts. You were the last man standing at Standing Rock, as well as many other accomplishments. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me and to answer these questions that are so important for so many people to know. Mr. Williams, because you are the founder of the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Women and Sons Center and Database, people need questions answered about warrior training, tracker ways, origins, weaknesses of predator Bigfoot, mind speak, what traps look like, and how to know if predator Bigfoot are around them.
A warrior is a warrior. Warriors are not survivors, and survivors are not warriors. We arrive from a waiting place for the purpose of protecting our earth, to gather all the knowledge of the world, to prepare the spiritual body by attaining knowledge, and to prepare our body for the physical path, the physical challenges we will face alone. We arrive from the spirituality of earth. Arriving alone is one of the conditions for return. Before our arrival to earth, we gathered everything we needed for our journey called life. This dream world, time is of the essence. The warrior's way begins at arrival. The upbringing of a warrior is only trained by the most war-tested leader. The physical body has to be the most prepared, the best trained by the most skilled warriors at war. In battle, move strategically and with purpose. To lose self-importance is to acknowledge ourselves as energy beings in a physical being here for the purpose of warrior. Everything we do is with perfection. Our control is impeccable. Our decisions are so carefully calculated that nothing that happens is unsuspected. Be aware of everything. Every shift, every change. Scan the horizon for shadows. A forest that has little to no animals. The weather, the change of wind, the arrival of fog, twilight, eclipses, full moons, and know that fog is not normal. Know the scent of a creature and feel for its presence. When the rains begin, smell the air for unusual scents, not of the area, or a fine forest, or frankincense, or myrrh. They hunt before storms to cover any tracks or marks, but their stench comes from rolling in blood and wet hair. The demon can look like a big dog lying down in the brush. A lying dog with a beak, the shape of a bush, red eyes in the forest, a strange light in the darkness or night sky, hovering or moving from side to side, a lightning bug of unusual size, multiple crackling sparks in the sky, people floating, or an image of a head in the air. That is a demon dangling from a thread line. Dark silhouettes that fly, unusual movement, or quick movements out of the corner of your right eye. The size of the demon depends on its imprints, to small holes, to puddles. Some small and others 10, 20, 50 feet apart. The demons have their own hunting grounds, their own sections, mountains, forests, national parks, camping areas, isolated rest stops, underbrush, animal trails, hiking trails, to the deepest of the forest centers. Cedar trees capture energy, so look for them to be in the forest of where the predators live. Spirituality is knowing everything you need, you already gathered. At any given time, you have offensive and defensive feelings that protect you. Goose pimples on the arm, hair on the back of your neck stands up, flowing wind, or a shiver. It all informs you of a cosmic translucent predator. The training of the energy body is in preparation for our journey or return. Our spirituality has full awareness and goes through that door. And through memory of grand deeds and truth, spiritual power is stored. The body, the reason, the will, the energy body are all separate, but are all one. Each part has to be trained as separate, but as one. The owl calls the creatures to the place where they have spotted prey. Their sounds, we are to know what to listen for. Giggles, laughing, or the laughter of children in the forest. A voice of distress, a scream, call for help. The sound of a baby crying. Low or high, muffled, or a raspy voice, or a gurgling sound. Clicking, a single chirping bird in the night. Growling in the forest. Sounds of light footsteps when you move, and stop when you stop, and runs when people run. Use coded words for a location, but change the words after 2 calls, because the demon can mimic your sounds and will use your words to call you towards a different location. A knocking noise is not for communication. Flip rocks or branches to have you run in a certain direction, to make you go another way and run right into a trap. Usually an enclosed area, a corral in the forest made of sticks, branches, brush bent over trees. Trees or limbs lying on a pathway people and animals travel. Cows and animals will have their face skin stripped off after suffocation occurs. Dogs and cats will be stripped of their skins. The sign of a spider bite will have bleeding from the eyes, the ears, nose, and mouth. There will be puncture wounds. the soft tissue of the stomach and the heart missing. It eats flesh from the arms and legs. Caves or underground burrows are used as hiding, feeding, and storage places. Scrapes on trees are marked hunting grounds. The demon has many names and it has been called many things from the beginning of time. M as the symbol or the letter. The feathered, forked-tongued jaguar. Comets. Pillars. Columns. God. Lords. Kings. Giants. Monsters. Stars. Eye in the sky. Red eye. Santa Maria. Argo. Slender Man. Mothman. Shadow People. Predator.
What are the most important things that people need to know about Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot is a predator only. It's here to consume all life, from animals to bugs to man. That it hunts and stalks people. It's very dangerous and vicious when attacking prey.
Is Bigfoot spiritual, physical, or both?
Both. Pretty much the same as us, but it's not us. It can never be us. The predator Bigfoot has stolen DNA through the consumption of blood and flesh. The Bigfoot DNA is of us, but not us. They're the flakes of hope. We are spiritual beings and a physical being. The Bigfoot is unified with us through DNA, through the theft of DNA. But remember, it is not us. So we're here at a friend's house, and this is our first site. I've been here before. We've encountered here, so I just want you to let Josh kind of tell us about things that go on here and what he's seen, and that just wanted you to know. When you first noticed, like knocks or whoops.
When I first started hearing knocks was 2020, and then they started appearing themselves coming out of the woods.
November of 2020. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're still here. I hear knocks out there at nighttime. Heard some about 5 nights ago. I was sitting out here in the car. And we also have something clawing at cedar trees. I don't know what that would be. And then we have where you can see like a big beast has been sitting on a trail. There's 2 spots out here in the woods. Also have some kind of figure of kind of like a stick man that's behind my old house over here, or behind our old house. We've had seen like orbs floating around a few times. I have seen look like a red eye just shining back off in towards the woods back there, and then come out and shine my light, and look like something you can see, something just hunched down back there as you go up the hill up there. I've seen foot tracks. Imagine looking over the trailer that we moved looking in behind the house. I had something at my bedroom window trying to, I want to say like it was trying to pull my AC window or my unit out. I believe that's it.
I was gonna also say that you remember that time that me and you went inside the older house, your old house, and we both was in there, looking and listening, and then we heard the walking or the creaking of the movement. So and also that usually it comes around the house, right?
Yeah.
And then I know it used to go around those hay bales, but now that you moved that, have you noticed that they moved further behind those last hay bales to cross over?
They're further in the woods back there.
So we need to go before twilight. So 5. They should be called back by at least 4:30. 4:30, 5ish, and so if we could go at 5, I guess that was. We should arrive perfect time when that sun comes up.
I've seen like a monster track.
No power fence or anything back there.
What?
Not a power fence or nothing back there.
There's a pile of junk back there.
Shouldn't be turning red back there. That's absorbing this light.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah. She's focused on that light. Every time you move that light up there towards the top of that ridge, she moves her head and follows it.
You got eyes on Josh? Anything? Heat?
It's all back in there.
Dog's barking.
Yeah. There's something big hiding in over there.
Yeah. Let me get that.
Right there.
Let me get that on video.
Movement, like
Okay.
leaves moving.
Okay.
Oh, there's at least 3 now, possibly 4. So I'm trying to pinpoint it, and you can see the temperature. It's rising, getting hotter right in there. On to 26, 27, and the ambient temperature around it is 25.4 Celsius. There's something right in there.
Who's this?
I don't know.
Who's that, Josh? Keep it down.
Hey, go in the house. What? Go in the house. Or come out here.
There's still something right there. Right in there. I seen white right there. It's changing color. As you can see, it's went into more yellow and a red. The closer you get to the red, the closer you'll see white. Right there. You can see the water.
I'm gonna fucking pick up the fucking ass. What the hell?
Did y'all see me?
Scared the shit out of me.
I just heard something weird outside over here. Hold on. Tell me that story. Oh, I just heard something walk across in front of me right there. It was pretty big sounding. I know there's a bear out here somewhere because we saw it on the road. Up the road there.
So you think that was a bear?
I'd be saying it possibly. It's around here because it was just right up the road where I seen it.
Okay.
That's pretty neat. Those black infrared, infrablue.
Yeah. There's
Wow,
a
that's pretty
Bigfoot sitting up on top of that house over there.
Really?
Yeah, you can see
serious?
it with night vision.
Yeah. Let's see.
Come here. I'll show
Yeah.
you.
Let me see. On top of what house?
This house right here.
That one?
Yeah.
Talk about the origin and DNA of Bigfoot.
Well, the origin is in the story, The Legend of Tom. The origin of the Bigfoot does begin with the cosmic spider. It's a predator that through ingestion of other spiritual animals, such as the great bird, the great bear, DNA has been transferred and mixed with all the animals, including man, in that mixture that the spider does. When the spider ingests something, it uses that DNA when it makes an offspring. Whatever is hatched is a mixture of that DNA. The Bigfoot came from that mixture. The first Bigfoot did not look like us and was not formed like us. Only through the consumption of DNA of man did this predator become more man-like, to become a better predator, to get closer and closer to man to consume.
What do you mean when you say Bigfoot is a combination of everything but not a completion of anything?
The Bigfoot cannot be man. It cannot be a ram. It cannot be a fish. It has all the DNAs in one form, and that form is used to get close to people. It's a combination of everything, but it's not a completion of anything. It has no completion form. It never had a completion form. The only thing it would do after consuming all man would be to revert back to its original form, which would be a spider.
Some people say that the Bigfoot are the offspring of the Nephilim spoken of in the Bible and the Book of Enoch.
Yes, the Book of Enoch is a book of truth by a scribe, which conversed through mind speak with demons, who called the right wrong and the wrong right, and talk of the time of judgment. Judgment day has already passed. Any day hereout is a day before judgment or judgment day. The truth is told in the Book of Enoch, but that does not have to be. Knowing the knowledge we share prepares all before. Judgment is happening right now. Here we are at a local swimming hole.
Could you explain the three faces of Bigfoot that you mentioned?
The multiple DNA structure in a predator man-like form. The face, the eyes, body, hand, feet. Each have multiple DNA, causing extra organs, fingers, toes, eyes, and hands. The face of the predator Bigfoot. The right side of the facial structure looks like a deer, a pig, a fox. The middle, or the center of the head-like form, looks like a human, a monkey, an alligator, a baboon, or ape. The left side looks like a wolf, a bear, a dog, a raccoon, a rattlesnake. The body is the same way. DNA of the predator. The serpent, ram, bird, fish, dog, goose, and stolen DNA of man through consumption. This mixture of DNA is what my people called the arrival of evil, or Bigfoot.
As we start our track, we are looking for the best ambush spots for human and game. We pick up animal trails and predatory signs that lead upstream. Past the skeletal remains of a deer, a Bigfoot blind is located, as is a corral in the forest. Mr. Williams is explaining that the vines are used to weave predatory structures together to cause a wall. He is pointing out that the deer are herded into this trap when they come to the river to drink and have no escape route. He is directing our attention to the many bows and explaining that every bow will have a Bigfoot. This area is used often. Looking from the inside, we can see the intricate weaving of the structure. Quickly documenting the location, this large corral informs us that the predators are comfortable that people will not venture here. We are highly visible in the sun. In trackers' language, it is called shiners. Anything in the sun reflects light, including ourselves. In the distance, many predator structures and blinds are apparent. As we proceed, fresh predator tracks are visible, but the predators will always be at the edge of the visibility of light. We are circling back, using the shadows for cover. Game will use the base of a mountain, ditches, small ravines to travel. We head for the shadows to use for shadow language and skylining. Skylining is using the sun for spotting an oddity while looking for shadow movement, or when a person stands on the horizon casting a shadow. This area also makes a great ambush spot. We will return to reinvestigate this location of predator activity soon.
something buried here.
It feels soft.
Let Ella know.
Okay.
That's a trap. It's a whole corral right there.
Wow.
Corral.
Yeah, look when I put it through that vine. It went through the vine.
Waves too, yeah. This is a trap.
That's pretty wicked how they put it through the vine to hold it up.
Well, it's getting dark. And we may have a Bigfoot over there, so let's get.
Isn't that cool how it goes through that vine? Please explain how Bigfoot characteristics are similar to certain spiders and what is meant by the spider crawl, as some have witnessed.
With the DNA of the spider, the Bigfoot is just a huge spider with a face or a mask to get closer to people. The spider crawl is more comfortable for a Bigfoot to be on all fours. The legs are smaller, so it's more agile and quicker when on all fours.
Describe cloaking or transparency.
Transparent or transparency. But it also looks like, if people were looking for it, you would look for something that looks like the hot heat waves off of a hot highway. You would be looking for a shimmering outline, a watery haze look, or a crystallized ice look. Today, people would call them pixels or pixelated, but you can also find them in the trees. Look for the waves that do not move when the leaves move. Tracking another hot spot, we stayed in the tree line for 2 hours, observing translucent predators and Bigfoots in some of their physical forms. Translucent predators and Bigfoot paths are visible by using spider webs. Bigfoots do not disturb the spider webs. Bigfoots will use the spider webs to know if prey came through and how tall the prey was. We use the spider webs to find the Bigfoot paths, their ambush spots, weapons, and hiding places. The Bigfoots also build seasonal traps and traps for the coming season. In winter, they build the framework for the spring foliage. These translucent predators hide in the light and shadows. If the predators are not clearly visible, their common smells are the scent of a fresh pine forest, frankincense and myrrh, or a woman's perfume, the stench of a wet dog, rotting flesh, blood, mixed with the stink of a tarantula, or rotting snakes, or no scent. The Bigfoot being observed here is herding deer to us. Through observation of humans, the Bigfoot can separate hikers from hunters. Weapons or no weapons, a hunter or a hunter of Bigfoots. Trackers observe baseline to tree line first. We use the shadows. We go tree to tree or bush to bush, blending into our environment. The shadows are very important to read. It is called shadow language. Distinguishing shadow upon shadow. If your visual or sense of smell do not pick up the predators, your body is made of feelings and sensors to protect you spiritually and physically. Your feelings and senses will tell you where the predator is located. If the predator is behind you, you will feel the hair on the back of the neck. If the predator is on the right or left, goose pimples, shivers, or wind will be on that same side. To locate the predator, turn towards the place of the first feeling. This is the first alert for warriors that war is here.
Being the lead tracker for the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Women and Sons Center and Database, explain how a tracker enters the woodline and what you mean about the Predator Symphony.
Tracking. Smell the air first. Smell for the scents of a predator Bigfoot. Listen for disturbances. Watch for movement. Scan the horizon. See the tracks before entering a woodline. Lost people will have active wildlife and will be a cause of disturbance. Missing people will have an empty forest. This also is information. A warrior uses everything to our advantage to decipher the past and present. Bird language, shadow language, translucent viewing, mind protection technique. Birds will help you if you use bird language. Natural birds will alert the forest. No bird sounds in the area. Bigfoot predators are near. The predators have specific vocal calls or jobs per troops. A single bird chirp is to signify prey is here and location. Hear a bird, find a bird. When predator Bigfoots take people for food, there are other predator Bigfoots that are sentries or watchers in every troop. There are different types of sentries. The sentries inform the troop if all is clear to take and to release. The sentries, for the ones who took a person, wait for other people to run into the forest. The predators wait for search and rescue teams. Each person who enters the forest is picked by a predator to watch or eat. Trackers know that each predator print will have multiple prints in one. Each tracker makes their own hand-drawn print. That print will match up to the size of the Bigfoot. If the predator found doesn't match the print, trackers return to the first print. We never leave our memory to another, nor let another make a decision for us. Leaving us fresh 21-inch tracks, we pick up its trail and know the predators have separated us from hikers and hunters to being trackers. The animal trail is well worn. We are now at the High Line crossing. Predator Bigfoots set traps by having people follow into the forest, using visual, scent, sound, and tracks. As we arrive at the trap set for us, we evaluate our surroundings. The ravine trap is visible. Small predator tracks lead into the ravine and shadows. Across and above the trap, under the adjacent underbrush, a predator is visible and waiting for us to follow the tracks and voluntarily enter into the trap. Scanning the baseline of the adjacent woodline, we find another predator visible. We document the tracks and location. We now begin to track back to the known water source, 50 yards to our east. A few feet away from the small pond, predators are visible. We document the predator's location and return back to base. Next, ensure all disturbances have been quieted or located. Let the forest return to normal. When spotted by birds or wildlife, pretend to eat leaves and move slowly. We are retracking a previously known hotspot. The winter season is the best time for visuals of ambush spots without heavy foliage. Tracker EM and myself carried 8-foot spears and other weapons during our last track here. We use the spears for predators that pounce from above. The spears give us a 10-foot reach. Tracker E and myself here are tracking Bigfoots to a known water source, observing and listening for bird language. Bird language is knowing the sequence of predators. Bird language is knowing the sounds and habits of birds. To distinguish the difference between real birds and the predators mimicking the birds. The sequence of predators is robin, woodpecker, blue jay, raven, then crow, then wolf if any are in the area, then Bigfoot. Bigfoot use the ravens and crows during the day, and wolves and owls at night. The raven, as the owl, will perch, call, or hoot when food is found. Ravens, crows, and owls all benefit from a kill. Always stare a predator in the eye. These birds will fly away if you spot them. Always watch any predator until fully out of sight. Never turn your back on a predator. The predator will return if you do not let it know you are not food. From the reports in this area, game used to be abundant. Now the game numbers are almost non-existent, and the landowner is missing pets and livestock. The Bigfoots raise wildlife for food and traps, or to deter hunters from venturing far into the forest. The Bigfoots herd game to the hunters to get people out of the forest. Ravines are also used for funneling and trapping prey. Bridges, as we call them, are trees that have been knocked down or moved intentionally and placed across a ravine or waterway. The ambush spot will be found at the base of the tree and across the ravine from where the tree is placed. Dirt, mud, and debris is dug out to form a cave or ambush spot. The base or ambush spot is placed away from the direction of human observation points. The dirt and mud are used to make the ravine's escape routes slippery and muddy, to keep the prey running down the ravine to other awaiting Bigfoots. A wooden spear. Bigfoots use a multitude of weapons, from spears to sharp cutting stones, large thrown stones, sharpened sticks called land spikes that are placed on the far side of fallen trees or placed trees. So when the prey is funneled through and jumps over the log, they are impaled, wounded, and leave a blood trail. Other ways a Bigfoot will kill prey without weapons are brute strength, strangling, breaking necks, biting, crushing, and decapitation, as well as drowning and suffocation. Razor-sharp claws or teeth to rip prey apart. Tracker E takes the lead tracker position. As Tracker E observes the ambush place, I stand guard, awaiting Tracker E's report.
I found tracks and the ambush spot in the exact location under the bridge. I waited for my support, then observed for sound or movement. From the entrance, I could see the bridge, signs of struggle, and anything moving in the area. The cave was intentionally and strategically dug out and hidden. It was roughly L-shaped, approximately 12 feet deep on the stem end, and approximately 5 to 6 feet wide from top to bottom and side to side. I entered the cave and could almost stand upright. I'm 5 foot 8 inches tall. I could see the shafts of light above shining through the holes I mentioned earlier. They lit up the longer section to the right or north so that I could see the sloping ceiling of the section being dug out in the back. The entire area looked well used with little debris. Looking upward, I could see reinforcing wood intertwined. My feelings informed me it was time to back out. My support was at low ready, so I exited. The way I had entered was too steep and covered in mud and not returnable, so I made my way down to the creek bed through a narrow runoff channel that was rib-high on the sides and full of roots, debris, sharp sticks, and snags from the knees down. We made our way back to base and also cast a set of juvenile Bigfoot tracks. Wrapping up our investigation, we made a report to the property owner, which included listing wild game, livestock carcasses, bones, Bigfoot tracks, and sign, as well as remaining wildlife in the area. We're heading out to investigate local roadside parks in Antlers, Oklahoma, and surrounding areas. Why do you tell people to go 50 yards out?
Well, Bigfoots have a no disturbance line to not cause alarm to prey. Before 40 to 50 yards, you will see death by finding bones, skins, and carcasses. When you find these light signs, the Bigfoots in that area are very comfortable that no one is aware. 40 to 50 yards from a home, picnic, or camping area, city parks, daycares, places of work, and roadside parks. In the woodline, you will find the first openly visual signs of a Bigfoot predator. Skirting. Skirting is what we call tree line blinds. Bigfoots use stickers, vines, branches, and old foliage to hide and watch families from a concealed view. Past the skirting, you will find animal trails. There, if the blind is secure from human vision, you will find bones and carcasses as well. Structures are any predatory disturbance of nature. Blinds will be found in the best position to view everything, including the tops of trees.
The blind here is next to a game trail that leads into the ravine. From this blind, I was able to observe people walking on the opposite ridge, but they did not notice me. Following the game trail downward into the ravine, it was apparent that the embankments were too steep to climb back out of. It made a perfect ambush location, and prey would have only one option. In and around the ravine, I found fresh Bigfoot tracks and disturbed water patterns. Looking up, I observed other blinds that were strategically placed on both sides. Continuing to track the Bigfoots in this area to many ambush locations, we found fresh tracks, disturbances, and a clear path to another strategically placed ambush location. This blind gives the predator Bigfoot the advantage day and night. From here, it is able to view the entire front side of the park and have a clear line of sight to anyone entering and exiting. Roadside Park Report. We found trash, boot prints, sneaker prints, signs of recent activity, multiple deer skins, assorted bones, Bigfoot tracks, fresh and old, large canine prints, raccoon prints, recent and aged fish bones, bird bones and feathers, a twisted canine skeleton. Also skirting, blinds, bows, breaks, twists, fractures of trees, multiple ambush spots, water and leaf disturbances. I would like to get back to the subject of why you tell people to go 50 yards out.
Let's start back with skirting. After the line of skirting, you will find the animal trails. Past that, further into the forest, you will find the Bigfoot path. This path will be a clear runway lying behind trees. The leaves or pine needles on this path will be crushed or matted down. The matted down needles compress sound. The path will be angled to cross animal and human trails. Bigfoot predators will stack branches to guide prey to blinds, land spikes, and corrals.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to return to this question in just a moment so I can give the report for this next site. Here, a large X is in the background where a group of Bigfoots have been seen traveling. This next location, the homeowner and son report visuals. Quote, I saw a large Bigfoot that looked like the kid in the movie Mask, and it was scary. Missing pets, pets afraid to stay outdoors, Bigfoot tracks, Bigfoot audios, large prowlers looking in windows at night. Sheriff and tribal police have been called with reports of prowlers. Neighbors are afraid. And the homeowner stated, while fishing 80 yards east, I saw a large Bigfoot stand up from across the creek. I reeled in my line and returned home. In a recent encounter, here to the right, the homeowner stated that from 25 yards away, he saw a 9-foot-tall, black, hairy, big Bigfoot step out from a tree and throw a stone at the homeowner's large dog and hit it, causing the dog to run home. The homeowner stood still watching Bigfoot sway back and forth, staring at him aggressively and holding a long club. The homeowner lowered his eyes, and when he looked up, the Bigfoot was gone without a sound. Also, here at this bridge crossing, large X formations, bows, and dark underbrush are visible. The same homeowners have reported juvenile Bigfoot crossing the property in a spider crawl. So that wraps it up for this site, and we can continue with the 50 yards out question. You were explaining how sticks are used by the Bigfoot.
Trackers begin at baseline, meaning at ground level, looking for oddities and abnormalities, such as darker than dark shadows, twitches of hair or fur, toes, paws, hooves,
talons, feet, any movement or discoloration. Next, we look at fallen trees, or more importantly, trees that have been placed near homes, game trails, and human trails. Trap after trap, blind after blind. You will also find bows in the forest. A bow is a bent over tree that has a curved center. A bow looks like an arc in the forest. Bows are traps set with translucent predators waiting just past the arc. These predators carry translucent bags or boxes made of Bigfoot skin to hide captured prey. Each bow is designed for the size of prey in the area. A large bow near a home has been made for the residents. Bigfoot entrances and exit points will be in an angled direction to where human visuals are blinded. At tree line, we find skirting and blinds. 50 yards out and from this blind, we can clearly see the home and where children play. Initially, I received a report of prowler activity and contacted the homeowner. I then asked if our trackers could visit and look for what we look for. It was agreed that our trackers are allowed access to the property.
It's apparent there is a lot of Bigfoot activity in this area. What do you think about people whooping, tree knocking, or feeding Bigfoot?
People who whoop or tree knock are given the predators a location for food. Bigfoots that tree knock are sentries. Tree knocks alert other predators underground that prey has arrived. People who whoop do not know they do not have the same vocal or lung capacity. When a human makes a whoop in the forest, the predator knows it is a weak person and food is calling. When a man whoops, the Bigfoot will mimic him back, but call back mimicking as a woman's whoop. People who feed or think they have befriended the Bigfoot do not know other people have fed those same Bigfoots before. Here, we call these sticks and branches shoots. Shoots are sticks or branches leaning or wedged in brush sideways to stop prey or funnel prey into an awaiting trap. Past that, further out, you will find older ambush and underground burrows. The older camouflage burrows look like mounds in the forest, an uprised piece of earth or dome-shaped small hills. The Bigfoot will either feed on the wild animals, your livestock, your pets, your children, or you. Once a connection is made physically or spiritually, you put yourself in jeopardy. Take away access to the food or spiritual energy, and you will see the true face of your predator. You think you picked it out, but it picked you out. If you are taking it food or gifts, you have been trained by the predators. If a landowner sells the land to an unknowing person, that person has just committed murder. Next, we look at fallen trees, or, more importantly, trees that have been placed near homes and animal trails. Check for underground openings. Tunnels connect ambush areas to check for blood trails without being visible. Trackers use a spiral track to pick up fresh tracks. With prints this fresh, we now begin our track. The home is visible from here as we follow the tracks back to an old logging road. We pick up fresh tracks closer to the home that lead us to strategic viewing locations that have concealment.
The homeowner has given an updated report. Approximately mid-April 2022, another prowler incident. Visual of 2 prowlers reported in the shadows. Homeowner fired 2 shots. Police in both situations reported no sign of prowlers. We're now heading to our next area of track, another local park. Arriving at the park's walking track, we view skirting and blinds. Following an old game trail, at 50 yards out, we find the first bow. Bows are held down by sticks or debris. Often a log is placed in front of the bow facing animal traffic. Land spikes are found on the opposite side of the log to impale prey. As we track the predators, another predator structure is located a short distance from the first bow. This was the largest structure found in the area. A giant log X was centered on the soft ground below a dome created by trees bowed over from every direction. We could hear children playing in the background at a nearby daycare, as well as activity at the senior center. The park's walking track is visible from this dome that people use day and night. From this location, we hear people talking, children playing, and vehicles passing by. The sounds of normality, the sounds of habits, routines, and schedules, while predators watch from blinds and ambush spots. You talked about the consequences of physically feeding the predators voluntarily. How does one involuntarily feed the predators?
They will also feed off energy by making a connection with you called mind speak. Mind speak is a direct spiritual mental connection between you and a predator. From an open spiritual door you yourself opened. You invited a predator creature in. You gave access to yourself. A scenario of a forced open spiritual door is a sudden impact, coma, near death, or death. A voluntarily way to open the door are dreams. Predator energy creatures can come through spiritual open doors from the dream worlds. Memory can be lost in dreams by touching webs that look like smoky gray waves or a yellowish haze fog. Electrical sparks or objects in dreams are predator traps.
Now I'm watching a dog run along that track. They're playing right over there.
And where do people work?
The buildings next to it, all over the entire parking lot. People coming and going. Very populated area. And I have a 360-degree view all the way around.
Mr. Jerry actually very intriguing for me because of my background. As most of y'all know, that I've taught survival and wilderness survival and tracking skills, primitive life skills for near 20 years now. And Jerry does it also. I'm gonna give you the floor, man, and just start from the beginning, man. We want to know all about you. I mean, I'm curious.
I come from a medicine people background. My mother was a medicine person, my grandfather's. So we've passed down healing ways throughout the generations, and it happened to fall on me. Except I wanted to find out more than what I was being told. So I left home and I asked my mom. Well, I was talking with her and I said that I'm going to have to leave again, and she asked me why. And I said, well, if you can teach me everything I need to know about this world, I can stay here. And she looked at me and gave me a hug, and she said, I'll see you when you get back.
Now, folks, I will say this. Jerry impressed me quite well last week when I was me and my father was having a little bit of a outing in eastern Oklahoma, and I had an interesting night, to say the least, with some audio and some stuff going on, and we discussed that on Trinity Paracryptid last week. But Jerry was literally about 2 hours south of me, and he was on standby if it got bad. And he literally was on standby to shoot up there and come find me. And I appreciate that, Jerry. I wanted to say thank you so much for having my back on that night. And man, you was right there. I mean, you knew exactly where I was at. Very few people would actually know that area that well. Where does Bigfoot come into this? I'm curious because I know you're out in the woods a lot. You live out there. I mean, you're down in Antlers, Oklahoma, and I know you're dealing with them because we're dealing with down there ourselves. My father is actually not very far from you right now. There's 3 troops running that area around Antlers. That stretch. There's actually more than that, but 3 that I've dealt with. He's got a white scar down the side of his face, and he. Usually, if you see him, there's something going on. It's almost like there's a territorial battle going on in between his troop and the juveniles down there right now. So they're firing back and forth. And the reason I'm saying this is to let people know that area, even to all of us researchers that come into that area, is a fairly active area. I'd say it's almost as active as Upper Unbroken Bow Lake on the backside in between there and Arkansas. So my original question was, have you had any aggressive behavior in that area?
Not in this area, but I have in the Clayton, Oklahoma area, which is not maybe about 20, 30 miles from here.
Oh, yeah. I know Clayton real well. Matter of fact, Big Boy with the scar runs that area real well. Dad got drugged halfway down a ridge in a tent in Clayton, Oklahoma. It just ran up. His girlfriend was in it. And what's funny is it waited until I went to sleep right before dawn.
When they ask for proof, I keep telling people, we'll come to Antlers, I'll take you right to them. I'll show you where they're at, or, because I am from here. We're kind of like the guards here, and I took a shot at one just to get them to lay down because I didn't have a clear shot, but I had them on thermals and just kind of leaning it out there and taking the best shot by looking at that thermal. They took cover after that. And so that gave me a little space to, keep pulling back. But I knew my other friends were out there, and if I was to really start in with this, that, they would have been killed easy. I teach the ancient histories and the ancient, hieroglyphs and everything. And we see the mixture in the hieroglyphs in the Egyptian Dendra zodiac. And we also see it also in the Aztec sunstone. Their history is also in there about the mixing of the animal, mixing of the human, and how it made, a Bigfoot. And then, these it's just a mixture of animals and a mixture of human.
So you're saying that in your view, Sasquatch is a conglomerate of different, for lack of better terms, on scientific level, DNA structures, or different, they're a mixture of other animals together.
Yeah, and if they would run a test like that, we're testing for DNA of a serpent, tested for DNA of a land animal or a ram, and we're also testing for DNA of a fish. We're testing for DNA of a bird.
Yeah.
They would run tests like that. These things would show up.
Well, that's we have ran DNA, and they come back inconclusive. They say that they're a certain percentage human and primate, but then they have other, it's interesting that you say that, because we do have, certain groups and people have produced that evidence for in saying that they could be.
They're only a predator. And in our history, and in many tribes' history, recounts, they're called the arrival of evil. But at that time, they didn't have, the perfect human face. They had, it was more of a disfigurement.
Yeah.
But we were also taught that they're cannibalistic, or they eat man, and that they have a bite like fire. and paralyzing. You know, that's the same attributes also of a spider. We're taught that it's going to evolve to look more like us, to become a better predator, to get as close as it can to us.
You talking to me, I can't believe that you brought up the spider. You know, that's one of the oldest, the oldest teachings there is. You know, not very many people, they won't talk about Nephilim and angels and stuff like that. You go even farther back than that, and it talks about the spider. And it's crazy that you're actually able to bring that up. If you're really dealing with the ancient ones, with the spiders, why are you even staying around? We as the warriors, you know, when we there are times we have to vacate. And if you're really dealing with the Chapia, if you're really dealing with the ancient ones, buddy, that gun ain't gonna help you.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but you know, I've got a medicine bloodline. A warrior has to go back with all the ancient knowledges to be that man-child, that birthing that they talk about in the Bible. But a lot of people aren't warriors. A lot of people don't accumulate all the information before they go back. And when you know all that, you know to connect to the earth, and that truth is the only language in the spirit world. Being in the confrontation with a Bigfoot, to me, I just know that I have to take care of what's in front of me. And I don't see it as a life and death situation, because I just see it as either this is going to be my greatest last challenge, or this is going to be my greatest challenge. No matter what you're looking at, no matter what the numbers are, you know, you don't show fear to anything. This is our world, you know. It's not a predator's world. But also, a lot of the Choctaws, they don't have this information. With my family, we have the oldest house in Antlers. It's the only house that was standing after the tornado in 45. There's energies there because whenever that tornado happened, a lot of people perished in this town. So we had the biggest house at that time. So we took all the furniture out. They put all the bodies in there, and people came in to, you know, collect their family. And energies did stay there. And so we've been raised around, you know, what people call ghosts, apparitions, orbs, sounds, movements, voices, shadows. So, you know, our medicine background is different than the normal, I guess you would call the normal civilized Choctaw.
The mind protection technique. Before using this technique, program your body by telling yourself what your body is going to continue to do while in this state. The technique is to not think about the past, present, or future, and to stop speaking to oneself. The mind has to become completely clear of thought. Practice this technique daily, hourly if possible. The mind then has a barrier that cannot be penetrated. Do not stay too long in dreams. Do not dream unless a need is present. Do not get distracted in dreams. Keep access to yourself closed at all times.
Would you please explain about the connection between Bigfoot and the flakes of hope?
Only through the eating of man has the predator Bigfoot came to be. The predators are here until the end of days, which is now. The flakes of hope, or commonly known as the blood of man. Man is known as knowledge. Man is known as tree. Man is known as earth. The word earth equals the body. The body of earth is spiritual. A spiritual being called the spark of life. The spark of life is hope. Hope is you. Man is a vessel of hope. The sun is the blood and the bone structure of man, also known as plasma. The moon is the woman, the waters, and the body of earth. Both are living spiritual beings who create. The joining of the sun and the moon in the legend of time with the spark of life or hope which created earth. Earth is a living spiritual man-child being. The predators have the true form of the spider. The continuous eating of man is the continuation of the predators. Through eating us or man, the seed of hope was mixed with the DNA of the predator spider, a process called plasma scaling, or the flake of hope. Predators feed on hope, which is the blood and flesh of man. People voluntarily die by losing hope or by giving up hope to a predator. True spiritual people activate Earth and change everything. With all predators dissolving, either the Earth will be the judgment or a warrior activates through spirituality. True spiritual people are truth walkers. Only speak the truth to connect to true spirituality. A predator Bigfoot will hold position until it knows which way the prey is going or coming from. Let the predator make the first mistake. The predators have a fear of starvation, the fear of being found out, and the fear of losing its prey or meal. Another way to observe predators in the forest: predators will not move unless to attack or to lead a person into a trap, to decoy or lure. Predators are visible by movement of the eyes, mouth, and drool. See the golden path, light the tracks you need. Tree to tree, shadow to shadow. Warriors, trackers, know of the translucent and the physical viewing forms of the predators. When the track begins, use high steps. Do not leave trails. Stickers, vines are placed across a path to cause noise disturbance. Stickers grab shoestrings, pants, or scratches a person and create the blood scent trail. Listen for the normality of the forest with each forward maneuver. We also listen for abnormality of normality to the absence of the forest sound. The predator symphony is the absence of purity, meaning the sounds of wildlife that is just off a little bit. The predator Bigfoots live and travel in troops. They are never alone, and they all have different vocal jobs and duties in the troop. There are decoys, which are the most man-like in features, the watchers, the herders, the hunters or killers, the surveyors. In troops, there are a few predators that don't hunt unless released to kill. There are two that have to be restrained and have food brought to them. The names are Thunder and Lightning. The vocal ladder is established early in practice. In the troop, there will be a locust, bird, cricket, frog. Out in the distance, I'll call the predators boys for Bigfoot coy dog sounds. The sounds in the distance is to inform the predators near the home or prey that they too are in place for the kill. We use the predator calls in the distance to know the predators are close to us. The symphony has many predators. In each troop has Bigfoots that only work at certain times. Some are used only during snow or foggy days. Those Bigfoots are called fog, mist, and snow. There are water Bigfoot, translucent Bigfoots that lay in the shadows in creeks and near banks. There are a few that stay till morning light, called dew. During the rain, there are a few who are released to hunt and kill, called Thunder and Lightning. Each troop will have a Thunder and Lightning group. Thunder and Lightning also have to be restrained after the rain. Thunder and Lightning hunt before and during storms. Those sounds give the predator away and the location. Hear thunder, find thunder. Hear lightning, find lightning. The sound of desolation. The sound of nothingness. The predator symphony is complete. All quiet at the same time.
What are a few more ways the predator Bigfoot sets traps?
Cars that travel 55 miles per hour. Expect predator Bigfoots to release game in front of your vehicle if you are the lone car at night. The spot will be where the driver will have the least visibility and be the most vulnerable. The predator eats or drinks blood either way. A predator Bigfoot will cross a road with a single car day or night in a low traffic area. A predator Bigfoot crossing the road is a decoy, trap set. The hunters or the killer predators lay on the side of the road or in the tree line, waiting for prey to stop. Last stop. When a person leaves their car, the predator sets up in the best ambush spot and waits for the person to return. It will always be in a place where it can view or see in all directions. People who set up tents and then go to the store or to fish or hike, predator Bigfoots move in to the best location as close as possible, waiting for opportunity. At camp, expect your vehicle or tent to be the blind predator will use and where it can be found. When camping, look for the horizontal lines in the vertical forest. Trees grow vertical. Predators come in all shapes and sizes. Parents teach predators to lure children. Predator Bigfoots mimic voices and hand gestures. Waterfalls are listed as places of most missing people. Some fog is not natural, and heat from the predator makes the fog or lingering mist. The wind pushes the fog for hunting. Fog means predators are on the hunt. Bigfoot predators wear hoods and big clothing. They also ride animals. People let predators in daily, leaving home and car doors open. Translucent predators wait at doors for opportunity. Predators can put cars in gear, lock and unlock, and open and close doors. Bigfoot. Do not let your reasoning change what you are seeing. See it for it. The creature will offer you people to eat to change you. The predator also runs in excess of 55 miles per hour. When leaving a site, travel at least 15 miles at 65 miles per hour or more. People take predators home all the time. They can be translucent in the back of trucks, top of cars, back of trailers, and such.
This would be a great time to speak about deterrence.
Number one deterrent, spirituality. You have to become a truth walker. In the spiritual world, truth is the only language. The spiritual world will not connect to a deceiver or people who lie. In the physical world, a high-powered weapon, the mind protection technique, changing your habits, routines, and schedules. No garbage out until last minute. Clean food plastics before putting trash out. Don't leave pets or pet food outside. Stuff the stove vent hole with a bleach rag when not in use. Remove hiding places, cluttered and blind spots, and familiarize yourself with your land. Push back the tree line. Burn undergrowth. Don't let children play near the tree line. Do not feed wild animals. Motion detectors with infrared. Game cams 50 yards past last available light facing the home. Spiked in the ground around windows. Mirrors in windows facing outward. Cover windows, especially at night. Listen to your children. Connect with your neighbors. Clean your areas up. Predators cannot survive in a clean area. Teach your children not to play games like peekaboo, Simon Says, hide and seek, tag, Red Rover, or chase. Choctaw people continue to teach the war games. Teach the children tracking, predator sequences, bird language, shadow language, mixed martial arts, mind protection techniques, spirituality, translucent viewing, tree language, wind language, star language, cosmology, deciphering hieroglyphs, weapons training, gardening. Teach to use their body's natural abilities to heal and detect predators, including translucent predators. Tell them the story, the legend of time, so they will always have the beginning to always be, and most importantly, to never give up or lose hope.
his steps, walking when I do. I hear the sound, but see nothing as I look around. I see many eyes shining, following everywhere I go. Every time I look in the dark, they're looking at me. A foul smell in the air as people walk around without a care. Shadows in the corner of my eye, but when I turn to look, there is nothing there. A blur passes by, but what do I see? Only that who calls my name from the forest, the same as my father do. My hair stands up on the back of my neck. I feel sick and dizzy now, disoriented, spinning around. A large wolf on 2 feet follows me, lurking and smirking from tree to tree, whistling for me to look as a clawed hand waves. My body tries to tremble, but I'm staying brave. Something sways back and forth. I look away. I remember my mother always told me that when I hear and see this in the woods or around town, I am to sound the alarm, but let others know predator Bigfoots are hunting, and I should go and let her know. My father knows what to do as he calls to other men too. Mothers find their children and let them know to stay close. Stay in the house and pull the shades down. Hold your breath and don't make a sound. On from the teaser before the predator Bigfoots are back and hungry for more. Man and woman form lines to clear the land. The brushes beat as townspeople walk from the street to the wood line, moving slow into the woods now, making no sound as a gifting tree is found. Food and children's items with sales and flowers too. Why would someone do this to our town? Putting us all in danger. The shoes of a stranger are seen. Someone has been feeding predator Bigfoots near our family's home. Trees bowed and pulled down, sharpened spikes placed in the ground as the forest goes quiet. Not a bird, cricket, or frog. The trees are still, the forest has a chill. Weapons now ready as all know, the sign that predator Bigfoots are around. Now it's a trap as he slaps on a tree. A whoop over there and a breath next to me. Now whoops everywhere behind every tree. A raven's call, but that's not all. Coyote sounds, how his broken branches are heard. A baby's cry, I hear a hoot, and an owl flies by a call for help. Then the sound of a scream, like a dream will come to the reality of now. Predator Bigfoots all around, they didn't make a sound till now. We all know, put the sight at its head to slow their charge. People run from fear as others stand clear, calm in their aim as the ground is now stained. The forest now quiet as only few walk away. Now we look for the one who gifted the predators our town.